everybody, and welcome into another episode of Inside the Den, presented by Serra Rochester Hills. I'm Patty Cesarini, and alongside me today are two members of our creative media team, Natalie Longroy and CeeJay Round. Nat, CeeJay, thanks for being here today with me.
Of course.
Thanks for having us.
So I want to take it all the way back for both of you. Just give me your journey into making it to Oakland. Nat, I'll start with you.
So I went to Grand Valley State University for my undergrad, graduated in technically December of 2017. I graduated a semester early, and during my time at Grand Valley, I was a multimedia journalism major, so got a little taste of broadcast, radio, writing, and I knew I wanted to do sports. That was always my passion. So from there, during my time, I started the first sports broadcast show on campus, so that was, I dabbled in the broadcast side. I tried in front of the camera. Not my thing. So
And here we are today.
And here we are, but I knew that behind the camera is where I wanted to be, found my passion, and knew that's where I wanted to go. So once I moved home, I freelanced for U of M in their athletic department and worked for the Wings just in their PR department just to get my foot in the door, meet people, in sports. Networking is huge. It's a very small community when you really think about it. So, and from there I got my next job at the USL in Tampa, and I was a video editor there and worked there for 3 years and got to travel all over the country for all the different leagues they have, and it was a great experience. And had a great mentor in Dave there, who was our motion graphics guy, so I learned a lot from him and other aspects of video that I'd never been taught in school. So, and then I was I'm ready to move home. Michigan, Metro Detroit is home, so I was yeah, I'm ready to come back, and Oakland was a perfect fit for me, really close to home, and I've known Oakland my whole life because I'm just down the road.
Here, yeah.
So, and then got to meet CeeJay and our crew now, and I mean, we've been together almost 4 years now, and it's been a well-oiled machine, and couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah. So you had more of the quote unquote conventional route to getting where you wanted to be, and obviously ultimately ending up at Oakland. But CeeJay, your journey has looked a little different.
Yeah. My journey is completely different from a lot. I started off in the military after high school. Got out of the military and decided to come back home. Came back home to Michigan and decided to go to Oakland University. Went there from 2016 to 2020. So graduated around COVID. I know we're trying to get away from that, but that's when I graduated. And I just kind of got lucky. I was looking for a job, didn't land anything right out of college, but I knew the video coordinator at the time here at Oakland through Instagram. Was just, hey, is there any way I can just intern? And then an internship turned into a part-time job, and then a part-time job turned into a full-time job. And so I've been here now in total 5 years. But I love every moment of it. Love everything I do.
And you dipped a toe in pretty much everything. So you do a little bit of photography, graphic design, a little bit of video too. So is there any specific route or skill that you prefer?
I would say I used to tell you graphic design first. I started off as a graphic design because I was a comm major and I had a graphic design minor. But honestly, last couple of years, I've really just fallen in love with photography. And then videography is just something I just picked up, just having to. Times you don't have everybody. We didn't have Nat at the time, so it was just something I learned how to do. And then I even learned how to do social media. So it was just I just wanted to be involved and help with the process of creating content and making cool things for our athletes. And so I kind of just dabbled in everything, but photography is kind of my number one. I love photography, and I still love graphic design, but photography has become the number one thing for me.
Yeah, but you're a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, as they say, There you go. And Nat, you knew that behind the camera was your passion, but behind the camera, there's so many different things that you can go into. Why videography and video content?
I think it's just a way to show off the athletes in a different way than photography, because I always say not to say anything, but I think photography is sometimes a little easier sometimes. I'm not sorry, but just like, because you can capture a moment and not know what ends up happening in that moment. You can still get a good shot out of a bad play, but you have to make the good shot too. The angle, the composure, whatever, and everything. But like, if they get tackled or they miss the hoop or whatever, it's like, well, delete. It's not like something that you can kind of utilize. But I don't know, it's like also telling, because I have my journalism background, so like telling an athlete's story, doing interviews, showing off something that's outside of the sport sometimes is something I have a passion in as well. So.
Well, you bring up a good point that photography really is a capture of one moment in time rather than, and a picture could tell a story, without a doubt, but with a video, it is a longer form kind of story, start to finish. There's the different nuances in between, really all of it. And, with that, what is the best part of, CeeJay, I'll ask you this first, the best part of your job, taking that photo? What about it really tugs at the heartstrings for you?
Yeah, so I would say the ultimate thing that makes this job just worthwhile, and the goal of photography for me here is just telling the story, telling that moment, showing the grittiness of our Golden Grizzly athletics, just highlighting the student athletes, capturing the moments. Those are memories that live forever. And then you kind of remember these stories, and you were a former student athlete, and I got to shoot a few of your games. So being able just to capture those moments, and them are moments that last a lifetime, that can tell the narrative. So being able to do that for the student athletes, just for the school, and just being part of the OU community of being my alma mater, being able to tell that story. We had March Madness, but we've had softball go to the regionals. Swim team has had all the success. So just being able to capture those little moments, them are just like little stories that the athletes can remember, fans can remember, and just the program can be proud of.
And Nat, what keeps you also in college athletics and keeps you here at Oakland?
Well, first, I'll say the pictures that CeeJay takes is all over Oakland's campus, I will say. So you can see them throughout the building, on the video boards, so it's our imprint is everywhere kind of here.
It is.
But my favorite thing is, when they get the goal and they come to your camera, like me and CeeJay are almost next to each other, and they come to us, and they want to get the moment too, and just capturing that, or the March Madness. What a run! They're there on their athletic ability, but we're there almost as guests that get to experience this with them. But we're not officially on the team, but it's just you just get to highlight just their joy, their excitement, their athletic ability of making it that far. It's priceless. I get goosebumps talking about it, because it's just oh my gosh, we're just get to have a little tidbit into their lives, and we get to touch all of the sports here, which is I think that's what I like the most, is it's not just one sport, so the day is never the same here. I'm running to soccer practice, I'm running to basketball, I'm running to swim, we're at everything pretty much. If there's an event, we're most likely there, and if not, one of our interns. And we would not be here without our interns, so thank you all of our interns. But
shout out.
It's never the same, but it makes it exciting, because it's I get to go home and tell my fiance oh my God, guess what I got to do today? Who did I meet today? Or something like that. So it's just the day is never the same.
Yeah. And for both of you, and I think this goes for anyone that's in sports, we all have a different reason or a different why for picking sports, because it's not easy. There are the long days, the long weekends, the hours, no day is the same, and sometimes you crave a little bit of the stability, yet the fact that no day is the same, and you're seeing different things all the time, and you get to, dip a toe in multiple different waters and see different things, is the joy of working in sports. But I want to ask you both, what is your why? CeeJay, I'll ask you first.
Yeah, I would say my why is, it's cited in myself, but also cited in the people I serve. So my why is, I love sports. I couldn't imagine really doing anything outside of sports. I know I went the military route first, but I've always had that passion for sports. Sports has always been in my life. But my other why would be the student athletes, the coaches, and just the institution itself, for the fans. you want to provide those moments, some special moments for the fans and the athletes that, once again, everybody's going to remember those moments. Everybody's going to remember where they were if you were at that March Madness game. We have photos of our fans, and we might have had the smallest section, but our fans were loud and proud, and you're capturing the fans cheering, and you get to see the fans at home games. So being able to see that, and they're like, man, you took that photo, that was a great photo, or whatever the case might be, like, that's my why. I always want to think about the student athletes, the coaches, and just the institution on what that means to them and what it does for them. So even though I love sports and I just love being a creative, and I hope never to leave it, but it's even bigger than me. It's being able to tell the story for everybody, is people have lasting memories.
Yeah, and it is very clear to see in both of your guys' work that it isn't just for you. It is for the student athletes. It is for Oakland and stuff, and I think that's the beauty of having you guys a part of this team, because it could be very easy, especially at the mid-major level, to be like, well, this is really just kind of a stepping stone. I'm really here for myself. It's very easy to dip into that selfishness, I guess you could say, but I think it's just a testament to who both of you are and the work that you've put in here that is what makes a place like Oakland special. But pivoting, Nat, what is your why?
I mean, just like CeeJay, I mean, you get into sports because you love it.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up in Metro Detroit, I was always a big Red Wings, Tigers, Lions, Pistons fan. My dad had season tickets for multiple teams, so just grew up going. And then your why is just like the joy of seeing, I mean, you become friends with these athletes almost. I mean, like, literally, like, I mean, it's like you go to their games so much, you're almost their own little fan. Obviously, you have to stay professional, but you cheer on these kids because you want to see them break that record, make that basket, get the overtime win.
Right.
You know, you want them to succeed, and we've been a part of a lot of successful teams here. But it's just like, just to see their success, it like brings me joy, you know, and being a part of it. So
and along the lines of that, what has been each of your favorite moments that you have been a part of, or that one picture or that one video? You know, what is it for you guys? Is it the March Madness?
You go.
It's hard to say, and I feel like student athletes always ask me, hey, what's your favorite sport? And some just assume basketball, and yeah, I'm a basketball fan. But honestly, one of my favorite photos, there's a photo I took, and it's a tradition that started, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, where Nat made a thing called The Flight, and we kind of do that last media timeout at every basketball game. So yes, it's at a basketball event, but I love every sport. But being able to have, like, the men's team was like winning, they're in first place, and just that moment where we had the arena packed out, and that came on and everybody had their lights on. And I think that was during our Horizon League quarterfinal game against Purdue for Wayne. So then you had the league there, and they were able to see that. So that's kind of been like one of the dopest moments that I've ever had, because we were just been trying to get back to that, and Oakland's always been known as one of the best places for mid-major sports with its crowd support. So being able to get back to that was like an awesome feeling. Just being able to capture the arena with everybody's flashlights was awesome. But there's been so many more moments. Coaches and athletes seeing success after the trials and tribulations they go through, from track to softball to seeing the guys score and celebrate for soccer and just everything. Like, it's not just one sport and one moment, but that's like one moment that I'm probably the most proud of.
Yeah. I remember that. Literally, I vividly remember that, because obviously I was on the sidelines, and I hear it. When we play it all the time at the men's games, right? But that one was different. The energy in the building was completely different, and I talk about getting goosebumps just talking about it, like thinking about it. I was looking around and I'm like, holy smokes, that was a really cool moment, and for you to capture it was also really cool. But Nat, what about you? What was your favorite tidbit in time?
I mean, it's kind of almost piggybacking off of CeeJay, because I love creating the stuff, like the video board content that gets the crowd going to capture those moments. You know, that's like always the goal, right? And it's like, I'll play it for you guys, and I'll be like, okay, is this the vibe, or is it like gonna completely fail and nobody's gonna participate? So like creating those moments, creating the hype videos for the video boards or social media, or having interns create it and seeing the student athletes share it, and just seeing like how much they love it, because I think like it's hard to get feedback directly sometimes from student athletes, but just knowing they share it or like it, or fans saying, I mean, after that, they're like, I mean, Rob Ray, he's always like messaging us like, oh my God, that was sick. And it's like, oh yes, we got Rob sick.
Yeah.
You know, so, but just, I'm a soccer girl, so I feel like any soccer game and especially the Power 5 wins are just such a blast. And usually for those games, we do get a great crowd out on the hill, and just like, and it's usually a good weather day too, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, like knock on wood, it stays that way. But it's just like, wow, this is so fun to be like for non-basketball, because basketball we know we get a crowd, but for a lot of other sports, it's like this is so fun to have a crowd to win against a Power 5, and like they've stormed the field and like been a part of the experience too. So capturing the fans with the athletes too. I think it's a lot of the fan interactions with the athletes.
It's
just like,
definitely.
But yeah, March Madness. It's hard to say no.
It's a hallmark.
Yeah.
At this point, it has become the hallmark of these past couple years for us, and more specifically even last year. But I want to thank you both, one, not only for talking about this and coming on this interview today, but two, for all of the time, effort, the blood, sweat, and tears that you guys have put into everything in that creative office and making this place really come to life over the past 2 years that both of you guys have been here. So thank you.
Thank you.
And that is it for this edition of Inside the Den, presented by Serra Ford Rochester Hills, and we will see you next time.